Good morning, guys. Do you hear me? Perfect. So I think I will start because I don't want to delay you more. And then let's see along the way if more people join. So first, good morning. Thank you for attending. I would like today to talk about career and reflect my point of view about it. How is it? What's career? Is it like something has to be similar to someone else? Is it something that we copy from anyone else? Or is it something related to us? In my point of view, career is like your personality. It's something that it shouldn't fit anyone else but you. My name is Tahseen, and I will be talking about a different perspective, my idea about how your career should look like. The presentation was planned to be 30 minutes. I'll try to do it faster. Along the way, if you have any questions, just put it on the chat, and I will try to answer it. As well, I will give time after the presentation to answer any question you may have. So I did Erasmus Mundus. I finished Erasmus Mundus in 2009 in information technologies, which is basically telecommunication engineering. After I finished my master, I was like, I looked at the people who were with me. My class was a typical Erasmus Mundus class, people from all around the world, people coming from India, from China, from Europe. We had people from Latin America, and most of the people did their PhD or went to the research after the graduation. And of course, psychologically, I got affected by these people. I thought, yeah, this is the best way to go. I should really do my PhD. I finished the second year in Barcelona, and I really liked the city. So I decided to look for a PhD in Barcelona. And right away, I found a PhD in the Polytechnical University of Catalonia, in the same university I was studying. I started it. In the beginning, it was like, yeah, it's something new. I want to try it. I went a few months through it, and I was like, yeah, spending all the time in the university, trying to work it out, to start up something, to find the research that I would like to do, the questions that I would like to answer. As a person, I prefer to be with people. I prefer to be out always. I prefer to be interacting with people. So I don't really like it when I spend the whole day in front of the computer trying to do something. So I looked at the people with me. They were like happy, enjoying it. Some people didn't like it. So they were doing what they had to do. So I decided like, no, I don't really like it. I want to do something different. So 6 months after I started my PhD, I dropped it out, and then I looked for alternatives, and I saw like, yeah, I really like to be with people, so I want to do something more into management. So I went and I studied international master in management in one of the business schools in Barcelona, and from there started my career, let's say. Along the way, I would try to explain more about what I did afterwards, but first, I would like you guys to prepare a pen and paper or Word document or anything, because I would like you to write down something. So just take pen and paper or open a Word document. I will ask a question, maybe you can write it down. Okay, the question I would like to ask is about, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Maybe in which country you would be working in 10 years? In which field? In which industry? What would be your position? And what do you expect as a salary per year within 10 years? You can write it down. If you would like to share it with anyone else, you are welcome to write it down on the chat. If you prefer to keep it for yourself, just keep it for yourself. I will give you a few seconds just to write down these questions. If you haven't thought about it before, just write down whatever comes into your mind. Okay. So when we talk about sorry, when we talk about career, what's career? Is this something that we studied? Is it like if I studied engineering, my career should be like as an engineer? Sorry. Is it like if I work in a food industry, my career should be in that industry? Or if I work in sport clothing, should my career continue in that field, in that industry? Is career is it's my job, what I'm doing right now. If I'm working as a project manager in a company somewhere in the world, is it that my career? I would like to I would try to answer these questions from my point of view through the presentation. But first, let's go to the facts. Let's go to something written. Let's go to Oxford Dictionary and see what they say about career. Oxford defines career as an occupation that takes a significant period of time of our life, and it's full of opportunities for progress. So it's a job that takes long time from our life, long period of time of our life, and it involves progress. So it's about progress. So my point of view, career, in addition to the progress, it's your personality. It's what you do, what you like, what you enjoy. For example, if you enjoy going into university every day, spending 15 hours a day in front of the computer doing research in there, so you really have to be a researcher. If you enjoy to go to travel, go to small streets, capture some um, points that or spots nobody else saw, or you go to the forest or to nature and capture spots that people don't see often. So you really have to be a photographer. Or you enjoy go to the stage in front of people, sing, enjoy. So you really have to be a singer. So my point of view, career is about progress as well as about personality, about a lifestyle, about what you really enjoy. So it's like imagine you working in IKEA. So the culture or the lifestyle of IKEA is you really have to do to make the chair that you're gonna sit on. So it's also your personality, your lifestyle, the company where you work lifestyle, or the university where you do research lifestyle. It's just all about personality and how it really works. When we talk about career, it's not only you, it's about the job as well. So there are two entities, let's say, involving in building a career or forming a career. From your point of view, from your side, it takes attitude, it takes creativity, it takes your life. We pass through different stages of career. The first starts when you're curious about what you want to do. Maybe in the school, or maybe even earlier in the high school, or maybe even earlier when you dream of being a doctor or you dream of being an engineer. Your parents have a lot of saying in this. You try to copy your dad or your mom. you don't have anything to say. It's just you're there to learn and to explore. After a few years through job, after some years of experience, you will start to establish yourself. You start to have your lifestyle imposed in the career. You grow, you become better expert in your field, and then you start knowing what you really want to do. And when you are in the age of 30 to 45, where you have more than 10 years of experience, then you will be settled. Then you will have, normally the passion will become to be less, and then you will be less able to take risks. And then after that, you'll be experienced. You start mentoring people until you retire and then stop working. So these are the different stages where we enter. In each stage, it has its own characteristics. In some stages, we are more able to take risks, more able to form our career, and some other stages where we just follow the current. At any point, whenever we decide to take a job, whenever we decide to move any point further in our career, there will be three factors contributing to our decision. The first factor is the rational one. Is how much salary will I get into the new job? Let's imagine we want to take, you have an job offer to take, and then you will look at, of course, the salary of the job. Where I'm going to work? Maybe in which country? In which city? Is it far from me? Is it close? What's going to add to my career? And of course, depends a lot about the market where you work. If you work in a market where there are a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities, you might consider, you might think more than once to decide about it, taking a job or not. But if you work in a country where there are really little jobs, you'll be happy with whatever you have. Plus the rational factors, there's emotional factors. There's a factor that people don't normally talk about. People always think that they will decide about their job just because of good salary, good location, and advancement in their career. But there are a lot of social and psychological factors in there what people normally don't consider. And this takes a lot of, contribute a lot to our decision. Of course, whenever you have more experience, the emotions get less and less involved, but especially in the beginning of the career, this is going to be maybe the main factor. Maybe you say, like, this is the organization I really like, I want to work with, and you will not care about other factors. And of course, the third, the most important factor is the experience. It's like, if you have experience in work or the experience of your peers, your parents, maybe they are engineers and you want to continue to be like them, or your own personal values compared to the place where you would like to work in. From that, I would say there are two types of career. One is the traditional one, which is we always saw. Most of whenever you go to the HR books or listen to the HR people, they always say you really have to be stable in your job. You have to take this job. If you join a company, you need to be there for a while. Some people spend their whole life in one company, and in there, they don't really want to take risks. Security is the most important thing. They grow inside the company, and then they don't really look at the opportunities outside. They limit their choices into the opportunities that they have in that specific organization where they work. Or maybe they change once or twice, depending on the situation. And there's another type of a career, which I personally want to talk more about, which is based on really on opportunity. I think it doesn't really matter how many years you work somewhere. It matters how the opportunity and how you plan your career. Maybe you just started working in a company, and then there is another company, another headhunters call you saying, like, look, there is this opportunity where they're going to pay you 3 times more. You have a much better, higher position, and then the opportunity to grow and to learn in that post is much more than what you do. I would say I would rather go to that opportunity than staying in a company which is Maybe I feel fine in it, but I will not be growing fast. So what I'm trying to say is, whenever you are at any point in your career, you really have to look at the opportunities around you. You be flexible. Of course, it's going to be a lot of risk to take. And then the most important thing about this way of building up your career is you're going to learn along the way on practice. You're going to do the agile learning. Maybe you can go to Google if you are interested in the term and see what does agile learning mean. It says basically that you learn 70% of the things you learn is on job, on experience, or on practice. 20% of what you learn is from your peers, from your colleagues, and 10% is what you learn in the classroom. So it's much more effective when you are out there in the market, seeing what's going on, practicing things by yourself, and learn a lot. So opportunities, when we say opportunities, what does it mean? Where we can find an opportunity? Opportunity can be found in maybe a new position, a new job inside your own company. If you're working for a big company that have a new vacancy somewhere, in a new territory, in a new place you have never worked for, you can do that job. You can go and learn a lot from it. Or maybe it can be in a new company. As I said, maybe there is a headhunter calling you saying, look, there's an opportunity in a much bigger company with a lot of possibilities to learn. Or even in your industry, you're working all your life in food industry, and suddenly there's an opportunity going on in let's say, I don't know, sport clothing. Maybe this is an opportunity where you go out of your comfort zone, you learn new things, and you become a new professional. And at the same time, you grow much faster than you taking a typical path. Maybe a new country. Maybe you're working for a company that has position somewhere else. Or you're working in Germany, you feel fine with your work, everything is going well, but you want to advance more, faster. You might consider going to the US, I don't know, to India or anywhere else. Learn a new language, try to understand a new culture, of course, learning a new experience and new things along the way. And the most, let's say, difficult thing to do or change is to go to a new major, to go to a new field. You've been working all your life like engineer, you feel very good, your salary is quite well, and everything is going well. But if you think from now to 10 years, I'm going to be stuck there. I'm not going to have any more opportunities. The maximum I'm going to reach is I'm staying an engineer, a senior engineer, and that's it. Maybe I would consider now for the future is to go into more management field, go and do and lead my people. Maybe there are much more opportunities to be considered over there. So planning your career is not about what you wanted in the early stage. It's really about keep discovering new things, keep learning new skills, keep searching, keep planning, keep evaluating what you have at hand. And then you have a dream to reach somewhere, so you really need to understand the steps. You really need to research and really work on the steps that you need to take and to reach to that dream. It's not gonna, your career is not gonna stop after you decide what you study. It's not gonna stop after 5 years of experience, or 10 years of experience, or even 20 years of experience. It's always like you plan it, always you develop it and improve it. So how do you plan your career? How you really want to do it? There are 4 main points that you have to consider. First thing, as I said, career is a lifestyle, is a personality. You really need to identify yourself. And you really need to understand the reality, what's around you. You cannot really just dream, say, okay, I want to be the CEO of my company in 10 years, and your company is 100,000 employees that it's impossible to reach in normal circumstances. You really have to understand what's going on around you. Put smart goals, I'll come to it, what does it mean, and then go and do action plans. So I will start with identifying yourself. So really, you need to understand who you are, what you enjoy, What are your priorities? You as a person, what do you prefer to do with your life? What are your values? And you also consider where you are now. Are you working in a small company or a small university that has limited resources, or are you working somewhere big where you have a lot of opportunities to do? Do you, do you reside in a country, do you live in a country which has a lot of potential, or you live somewhere where it's not really easy to decide what you want to do? As well, you need to understand, you need to know what's your stage, when you are right now. And then what matters is how we're gonna do it, how you want to identify this opportunity you want to do and how you're gonna do it. So first of all, it's really need to understand yourself. You need to understand the opportunity around you, and then you start planning your future. So reality means you understand the environment where you work or where you live, maybe your family, maybe you have a wife pregnant that cannot move, and then you want to have an opportunity somewhere else, and this is cannot work really. You really need to understand the reality around you. Maybe you dream to go to Australia, but your husband or your wife cannot go there, or you want to go. You're living in a country where the financials or the economy is struggling, and you really have no opportunity to do more or to uh, to advance your career. So you have to be real. You have to be realistic. You have to understand what you have at hand. You have to understand yourself, your personalities, your values, and what you have at hand. And maybe you, as well, of course, you have to understand the training you require or the skills you require to move on. If you want to move from engineer, from technician to management field, you really need training in that. You really need to study something else. You need to go back to the university and sit for 2 years to study something. This is all you have to study, and you really have to know what's in there and how you proceed with it. Once you understand yourself, once you understand your environment, then you have to set the goals. Those have to be smart. They have to be specific. You really have to. You really need to be able to quantify your steps. Say, I want to be the CEO of my company in 10 years. What I have to do? First step, I have to do this. Second step, I have to do that. So you really have to quantify it. You cannot just plan something in the air, like, yeah, I want to be that, but how, I don't know. It has to be something really emotional. You really enjoy it. You really feel it. People always say, okay, when you decide, you just decide about the hard factors, and they don't really look at the emotional part, which is very, very important in that case. You feel good with this next step you want to do. Can you also track your process? Can you say, in 5 years, I want to be there? Can you really track it? Or in 2 months, I want to do that. Can you really record it? For example, you say, in 2 months, I want to do a course in learning how to present. Can you track that? Can you record it? Like, yes, I did it. It's very important to do that. As well, you have to look at the people around you, especially if you have a family, especially if you have other circumstances you have to look at. And any goal you have, any plan you have, has to be tangible. It has to be something, not just dream. It has to be realistic. You know what you're doing, you can quantify it. Once the goals are there, you just go and plan and do things. Whatever you do, you have to break it down into few steps, into small steps, so you can reward yourself with every step you take. If your dream is big, you cannot go and do it at once. You will not feel it. You will not enjoy it. But if your dream is really big and you divide it into a few steps, like first step, I will do this. Once you do it, you quantify it, it's tangible for you. You just go and reward yourself for it. So it helps you to go farther, to pursue your dream and go there. So people say, like always, I have the worst work, I have the worst opportunities, I have the worst, I have no luck. But then there are always people have less, they are less fortunate, but they have done a really great job in their life. So there are a lot can be changed in 1 year. A lot can you can do it better, and a lot of things can be done in a different way. So just look at the opportunity around you. Look what else you can do. It's not only about what your friend did or what your father or mother did. It's about you. It's about how you feel it, about your lifestyle. So really thank you for your time. I tried to go a bit faster than I planned. And if you want to contact me, you have any question, this is my contact. And if you have any question right now, you can just write it in the chat and then I will try to answer it. Thank you very much. So anyone has any question, any comment? Yes. Okay. This is, I cannot say it's like a lot of flexibility or little flexibility. You really need to understand the environment around you. Sometimes you as a person have space to be flexible. And sometimes you cannot have you cannot really be flexible. Me, I always try to put the maximum flexibility possible. I really like to look at the options in all directions. Maybe set, for example, now I'm looking for a job. I want to work in a specific position. Let's say I want to work in sales only. But the rest of the options, the rest of the things, I will leave them. Let's say, okay, if I want to find a job in sales, would I find it in an international company or in a small company? Would I work in this country or in that country? Would I work in this industry or in that industry? In my opinion, you really need to set like two, at least few directions. Like, okay, this is the direction. Like, I want to work in this country. I want to work in this, let's say, industry, or and then leave the other things open, flexible. You really need to see which direction is going to benefit you. If you plan to stay in a country for 5 years, you really need to find a job in that specific country. You really need to be not flexible with that. But if your career has been in one industry and you really want to learn in new industries and to learn new things, no, you really have to keep it flexible. So it all depends on your big dream. So if you know your big dream, what you want to do in the future, then you plan it in a way that you get to that. The most important values, the most important points to reach you there, they have to be fixed. This is, I'm not going to change. This is my track that I want to go through. And this is, let's say, the country I want to work. But industry-wise, position-wise, I will leave it open. I might learn sales, I might learn a little bit of marketing, I might learn a little bit of business development, I might learn a little bit account management to reach to that specific goal. So it's all about understanding where you want to go, where you are right now, what the opportunities you have. It's always good to be flexible, but some factors you really have to set. I don't know if I answered your question. Thank you. Yes, definitely. At the beginning, you can expect a salary that is a little bit less than your expectations. But you never ever expect a salary that's little than what you worth. If you expect a salary of 50,000 euros a year, and then there is an option to go with 45,000 a year, so you would consider that if it helps you to get to your goal. But if it's a salary for 10,000 euros a year, you shouldn't accept it, whatever is the reason. So you shouldn't sell yourself cheap, but then be a little bit flexible. If this is what's gonna, if you say, like, I had the same experience. I was moving towards, want to stabilize myself more in the new field or new major that I wanted to do. And then I got an offer for the international company. The salary was okay, acceptable, but not as big. I accepted it. After a year, I moved to another company, and they pay me for 100 times more. So 4 times more. Yeah, 400% of it. So it's 4 times more. It's a little bit complicated to give you suggestions right away because I don't know anything about your environment, about your situation. But if I were in your field, I would just go. If I were in your position, I would just go to the university, sit with international, with the admission um office, and talk to them to give you permission to go and check different faculties. If you are, let's say, interested, you don't know if you want to choose to be engineer or you go to business administration or you want to be a medicine, to go in the medicine field. So ask a permission for them to give you to go to one class in each of these faculties. Just go and see, or go and talk with a professor who work in this specific field. I think in some countries, in some universities, they will be flexible. They will be flexible with it. They will. What do you mean? In which field? Like, I think it's very different from one field to another. So if you give more or less a field, a country, more or less, maybe I can give my opinion, my estimation. Well, when I talk about opportunities, like I'm just thinking, yeah. I just said, like, if you can tell me the country you would be interested, so I can have more or less more idea. But what I'm talking about, flexibility and opportunities like in your field. If you look at really food industry and then I'm not expert in food, but in my point of view. So how many years of experience do you have in the past? Or you just graduated and you did your master degree? Or even can reach 50 if it's a big company like Kraft or Nestle. It's my expectation. I don't really have numbers on that, but it's my expectations. Okay, so you're welcome. So anyone has more questions or ideas or comments or even feedback on the presentation? What did you like? What did you not like? We have like 3, 4 more minutes. So I understand like no more questions, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, guys, thank you very much. We expected more people to be there, but I really hope you enjoyed it. So thank you for your time. And if you have any question, any idea, anything, you can write me an email, connect me to LinkedIn or wherever you want. So thank you very much and wish you a great weekend. Thank you. Bye, guys.